Have you ever met the connector? Well, he ponders, he helps, he creates, he writes, he speaks. He basically connects people and brings them together. I speak about Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group. At psandallmarketinggroup.com, you will receive an assembled group of Paul's contacts and connections that cross into many sectors of life. Please contact Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com if you are in the market for a wide array of services. Again, please contact The Connector, Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com with any questions. And now, here's Paul Solano, the host of Paul Ponders.
Welcome to Paul Ponders. My name is Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com. Thank you for joining me for my foray into podcasting. It is great to be collaborating with my friend and associate, Chalonzo Amos of PodPro Entertainment, to bring you some fun, exciting, and informative podcasts. For many years, I've been referred to as the connector, or in Greater Boston circles as the connector. With psandallmarketinggroup.com, I've created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please sit back and relax and listen to today's podcast. If you are driving or operating heavy machinery and just listening, then please just listen and stay focused on your task at hand. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy my ponderings. Let #PaulPonders begin.
Greetings, everyone. How is everyone doing today? I want to thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart, for all the people who have been liking the Paul Ponders, #PaulPonders podcasts. We've had many positive reviews. People have been rating us, subscribing, reviewing, just making it happen. And I really do have to thank Techie Talonzo in the control room, PodPro Entertainment, for doing a great job. Really, thank you so much for tuning in. Now, we've had a wide array of guests, intriguing guests, and today is no different because we have two wonderful, intriguing guests with us. And I would like to now introduce Gene and Natalja Sticco from Mystic Side Opera Company. Welcome, Gene and Nat.
Hey, Paul. Thanks for having us.
Great to have you on, Nat. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Paul. It's an honor to be your guest.
Awesome. Great to have you on. Maybe if you just want to let our audience know, Gene, we'll start off with you. If you want to give a little bio on your life and all, and then we'll go to Nat.
Oh, geez, bio on my life. That could take up the whole show in and of itself.
I know you can.
I guess the highlights are, I grew up in Somerville. I'm a Malden Catholic graduate. I left here at 18 years old, way back in 1990. Had a military and post-military career that took me around the world. 2018, found myself back here in Malden again. Retired with my new wife, looking for our next adventure.
That's great. And Nat, if you want to tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Sure, I will also try to be brief, even though it's kind of challenging. So I was born back in USSR in 1986. Why I'm emphasizing this fact, like Latvia, my home country, was a part of USSR back then. Then it gained independence in 1991. So when I was immigrating, I was theoretically immigrating from an independent country, which is a member of the European Union. And now I'm married. I'm happily married to Gene, living in Malden, Massachusetts, and enjoying my Americano dream, as we love calling it.
That is absolutely fabulous. And we are going to talk about, and I know, Nat, you have left out the part about your being a professional opera singer, and you have really one of the most beautiful voices, singing voices that I have ever heard. And you just do a tremendous job when you do, in fact, perform.
Oh, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I was like, I just didn't know how brief I should be.
Well,
That's why I went.
Actually, it's a great segue. It's a great segue to this podcast, which is about the Mystic Side Opera Company. incorporated in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in Malden, Mass. This is great. So I want to hear all about the Mystic Side Opera Company. So Gene, take it away and let the game begin.
All right. Mystic Side, we formally stood up as Mystic Side Opera Company last October. We formed the company. We moved into our new home, or our first home, I should say, at the Wilbur Fiske Haven House on Pleasant Street. Going on 2 months now. The 1st of April, we got in there. It's a labor of love. It's my retirement job. As I say, a lot of guys retire and they like to rebuild Mustangs and run with young girls. And I like to produce opera and just run with one young girl. It's really the culmination of 4 years of research and testing and really looking at, what needed to be done in the opera industry, in the opera business to make a difference and make it more engaging. It's a niche art form to begin with. It's one that I think there's a lot of misconceptions and stereotypes about, not really understood. People kind of keep it at arm's length when they're not a fan or haven't been exposed to it. Looking around at the industry and what the industry said the problems were, looking at the reactions we got from audiences over the last years as we tested several iterations of what we wanted to do for a company. I think we really found the sweet spot as far as performing goes and engaging an audience and bringing an audience to Malden, as well as bringing this art form to Malden, as well, just in general. And then we also have the component of doing professional development. And part of the motivation was in the midst of all of the, just deciding what we wanted to do. We had COVID, and we saw so many of our friends and artists that are in the industry who didn't make it out professionally because they didn't know how to run themselves and conduct themselves as a small business, as an entrepreneur, as, understanding even though you're a musician, that music and what you do, that's your product, and you need to manage it like a business. And that's part of what we're doing with Mystic Side as well, is really looking at ways to future-proof the industry, future-proof careers for individual artists. And that sort of encompasses our mission as well.
That's awesome. Well, I see a tremendous amount of cultural enrichment and community building in what you're doing. If you want to maybe expound upon that.
That's first and foremost. We wanted the Malden community to buy into it, so to speak. We want them to be a part of it. We want them to be something to be proud of. I mentioned, in my little background piece, I was in the military, and, the arts I found for myself, and it's just one of those very well-known facts. The arts have a tremendous ability when it comes to physiological and psychological well-being. Classical music, opera music, they are, used in music therapy. They're used for patients dealing with Alzheimer's because of the way it's written, because of the emotional chords that it strikes, the emotional intelligence, as we say, that comes from it, that really enhances all of those, as I said, physiological and psychological benefits of taking that time to unplug and enjoy it.
Definitely. Yeah. So really what I see is the quality of life really just improving so much in the world of arts and entertainment in Malden with your presence here in Malden. So I applaud you for setting this up.
Yeah, I think it's, what we try to do is we're not trying to necessarily make people opera fans. We're trying to offer them that opportunity to experience something different where they can step back from the bombardment of media and entertainment and all these things every day. They have a chance to step back, sort of emotionally recalibrate themselves, connect to something different. And where we are at Wilbur Fiske Haven House, it's this intimate environment that really encourages people to do that and really encourages them to connect with the artist. And even for myself, we have some musicians from New England Conservatory that come in. To see a flute player or somebody who plays the oboe doing it up close and personal is an entirely different experience and gives you a different appreciation for how that pursuit of mastery and excellence in something that you do. So that's our hope with the community, is that you come in, you experience that, and you are inspired yourself to go pursue excellence in whatever it is you're passionate about.
That's great. And also for our listeners in the audience, in case you're wondering where the Wilbur Fiske, what is it, the Wilbur Fiske?
Wilbur Fiske Haven House.
Right, Wilbur Fiske Haven House is. It's formerly the Sprague Funeral Home, located on Pleasant Street in Malden. Also, I believe that Martini Construction was there. And up until Gene and Nat moved in with Mystic Side Opera, it was Remax Trinity Real Estate. So it's right there, right across from Malden Fire Department over on Pearl Street. A very elegant, very historical building, and also hysterical building as well, because you have lots of great things going on there. And you had, I believe recently, Joey Voices, who is hysterical in his own right, but he was there for a very special Memorial Day celebration. If you want to let us know about that.
Yeah, no, it was great. We invited Joey to sort of MC for us. We did a Memorial Day concert to benefit Mission 22, which is an organization that has a lot of programs around veteran suicide prevention and mental health care for veterans. Nat's been an ambassador of theirs for a couple of years. She sings at their gala out in Indianapolis. It's the opera house, but we don't want to limit it to just opera, and Joey's been a great friend of ours and friend of the company's since we first had our first preview night, and sort of made an instant fan out of his. He came to check it out, and he's a musician himself, and he wrote a great song, Send Pictures of America. So it was his first chance to sing it. So now I joke with him. I said, see, you made your debut at the opera.
I love it. A great story. And also hopefully more appearances down the road for Joey and so many other local performers. I believe you had someone else, Santon.
Stanton, yes, so he's a musician. For me, he's very unique and very special because this is something I face for the first time in my life. So a little bit of his history. So he was born blind back in St. Petersburg, Russia, and later he was diagnosed with autism. And probably this fact will make everyone understand he's brilliant and unique. So I released a hit during COVID, which is called Reknown for a Soldier. It was actually my very first hit, which was streamed in all the streaming services like Apple Music. It's a dedication to all the veterans and all the soldiers or the fallen soldiers who have fallen and who have sacrificed their lives for us to be able to live the lives we're living. And what made Santon special, he listened to the song 2 times, and on the third, he was accompanying me. So I have never seen this in my entire life, even though I was working with a great variety of pianists. But somebody who has never heard the song and who just heard it twice and being able to reproduce it and with a live singer, for me, it's incredible. It's just a blessing that we met. Also, he plays not only the piano, but he also plays bandoneon and violin. And for me, he's a remarkable human being. Also, probably a good part in his success play his parents, because they found out this talent at an early age and cultivate that and to bring it to another level. And honestly, to be surrounded by those amazing talents and right here in Malden is something which makes this city special, at least for me, definitely.
That is absolutely fabulous, and I will attest to the fact that both you and Santon were at Pearl Street Station Restaurant last year during the Malden Porch Fest, and our whole restaurant was just absolutely blown away by both of your performances. So bravo, 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 really. Now, if it's okay with you, I believe that we'll be able to post a link to that beautiful, beautiful song on the bottom of this podcast, so it will be out there. Will that be okay with you, Nat, if we post the link?
Yes, actually, I, back in the days, set it up so the more it's gonna streamed, the more money goes to TAP.
That is great.
Yeah, so TAP's, it's an organization which helps the families of the fallen soldiers all over the world. I believe it started in the US, but after the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, they also help Ukrainian military and especially those families who lost a soldier in this fight. So yes, if you can post a link and spread a word, that would be great, because I know it like goes to the pockets of those who really need it.
Well, you hear it, hashtag Paul Ponders subscribers and fans. After you listen to this wonderful podcast, after you finish your listening, please click into that link and just hear one of the most absolutely beautiful, beautiful songs ever written and ever performed by Nat and Senton. That's awesome. Now, getting back to Mystic Side Opera, how do you receive your funding? Is this funded by grants, by fundraising? What happens, Gene?
Up until this point, we primarily bootstrapped it. We have some grants from the city, from Mass Culture Council, from the Malden Culture Council for different events. But we're a 501c3 nonprofit. So fundraising is a big part of our effort and our immediate needs. We want to, through the performances and ticket revenue, really make it self-sustainable. And we're working on some other projects around the performing arts theater of the future, where we're looking at different technologies and working with some people to design some technology that would bridge the physical and virtual worlds and audience experiences. That's all in its very early stages, but ultimately the hope being that those tools that would be owned by the nonprofit would then be able to help the company remain self-sustainable, even in different circumstances when it comes to public funding and donations. But right now, it's the goodwill of the people coming in, buying tickets, and people who believe not only in the mission, but are just fans of Malden, people who look for philanthropic causes. I don't even need you to be a fan of opera. I just need you to be a fan of Malden, because the potential impact and what we're seeing so far in bringing talent and drawing audiences from all over to Malden and helping to make Malden really a center of arts and culture and a city of music has a lot of great benefits for everybody. So even if you're not an opera fan, you can be a fan of Malden and do something great by supporting us.
Also, just like my 5 cents, so for you to better understand how important it is to us, whatever I make in music, it all goes into the opera company. So I don't get any income out of that. So I try, if it is a gig not connected to Mystic Side Opera, everything goes to make sure we pay our musicians, we invite good musicians. And I know not everybody has the luxury of having an IT engineer degree, which funds another career. So that's why I just want to make sure other people who don't have this opportunity also are remunerated like in a great way. I mean, it's not like fantastic, but at least I know, they will have their paychecks covered for. So this is like, it is, to us.
That's great. And it just goes to show that you are truly living your mission. And Malden, I'm born and brought up in Malden, and I'm very proud of Malden. And yes, I remember back 350th celebration, I was on that committee, and I remember the strong past, the proud future. Now I think it's possible to add the strong past, proud future, the opera in Malden. How does that sound?
No, it's true. That's it, and it's very much serendipitous, if you say. When I looked at Malden's motto in that way, I said that's the same thing. We're carrying on the traditions of a music genre that's existed for over 400 years, and it still, gets awards at the Grammys, and and in fact, if you did a little bit of research, you'll find opera and classical music actually win more awards at the Grammys every year, sometimes almost double, than any single pop music genre or any other, genre that exists. So it still has a very, important place. So we're carrying on that heritage, we're carrying on the traditions, but we're doing it in a way where we are very much future focused on how to make it more accessible and how to encourage people to appreciate it as well as enjoy it.
That's tremendous. That really is. And true words have been spoken, my friend. Just incredible. So how can our audience members log into your website, get in touch with you, make a donation, attend a performance, ditto, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, well, everything starts at the website, so they can go to its mysticsideopera.org. And there's actually a couple of other domains they can use that all lead them to the same place. So mysticsideopera.org, discovertheopera.com. You might see different versions of that. From there, there's information posted about the upcoming events. There's links to donate from there. And there's our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter links are all there. So we try to make sure in any way that people have access online, that's able to reach us and keep track of what's going on. They can sign up for a mailing list from the website as well. And if anybody, isn't internet savvy or have great connectivity, we'll also do mailing lists and things like that and physically send out the schedules. So we're working to build those lists right now.
That's great. And Nat, do you have any final words as we close out the podcast?
Of course. So what I would like to mention is that we don't aim to make it opera only. And like Gene a little bit covered it, we actually have a great bunch of musicians who are totally not operatic coming even like this weekend. So this weekend we have a singer-songwriter. I am horrible at names, so Gene might pronounce it a little bit better than me. We will have another singer-songwriter. Then we actually will have a tango band performing in August. We'll have custom opera, I believe, which is called Violetta, based on La Traviata, which is like a drag show. So there is like lots of very interesting performances which are unrelated to the opera. Of course, opera is my passion, but I believe in the idea that like every single artist has to get exposure. And this is what Mystic Side Opera is about, allowing an artist who is truly passionate about her art to go and to perform and to make everyone fall in love with the type of art.
Fabulous. Bravo. Bravo. And Gene, if you want to give that website address one more time.
Yep, mysticsideopera.com. .org.
.org, yes, we have
.org.
to have that. Well, I just want to applaud you for all the great things you're doing, and I know that Mystic Side Opera will be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. And I thank you for being on this episode of hashtag Paul Ponders. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. And I just want to thank our listeners for tuning in. It's been a great 25 minutes, and I thank you. Share this great episode with your friends. It's really just a great concept we have in Malden, the place to be. So until we meet again, everyone, thank you. Hashtag indeed. I trust that you have enjoyed hashtag Paul Ponders. Again, my name is Paul Solano of PS&All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com to do some more pondering. Many thanks to my longtime collaborative friend and associate, Alonso Amos of Pod Pro Entertainment, in bringing you our fun, exciting, informative podcasts. You rock, Techie Alonso. With PS&All Marketing Group, I created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com with any questions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Paul Ponders. Follow us on Twitter at Paul Ponders Pod. Follow us on Instagram at Paul Ponders Podcast. Thank you again for listening to hashtag Paul Ponders, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, paulponders.com, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment, hashtag Paul Ponders lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. Hashtag the new radio. Until we meet again, my friend, stay well. Hashtag indeed.